Okay, I'm a huge fan of Dune. Just saw part 2. It was a great movie. And the crazy thing is that this has been in development since last year. There are articles dating back to last year and even before that. So I don't know if this game is going to come out soon or later, but there's no date. It just says to be announced. Anyways, there was a trailer that came out 2 days ago detailing so many different things, even a live stream with the actual developer going through all of the details and everything that you can do in it. So the purpose of this video is just to tell you everything we know up until now. And you're in for a treat because the developers of Dune are the same developers who created Conan Exiled. And if you don't know what Conan Exiles is, it's an immersive open world survival game set in the harsh universe of Conan the Barbarian, and you as a player find yourself cast into the exiled lands. And so it's a very expansive world, and the game seamlessly blends survival mechanics with the opportunity for creative expression. Players must gather resources, craft tools, and build structures to withstand the hostile environment. Now, these structures can be simple as shelters to grand fortresses. Somebody even created the Taj Mahal. And speaking of which, I'm going to go over this in the article, but the developer said that there's going to be co-op crafting, and this encompasses everything within that world, meaning that you can leave blueprints for them to create that you've had an idea about. Or if you make something, you can sell it on the market. They're expanding this concept to the max, and with the Unreal Engine 5 and Nanite, which is the new system created for managing graphics in expansive worlds, this game is going to be something you've never seen before, literally. What I'm saying is that this development team have already proven themselves to be a reputable company in the world of MMO. Now, let me go over this article so you can see what this game is all about, because it looks amazing. In the title of it, it talks about how Dune MMO will let you use the voice, sell bases, and drink blood water, but not kill or ride sandworms. Yet, Awakening reared its head through the sands in 2022 as one of the several Dune games in works from Funcom. Funcom is the development team that are creating the game, and as I said, they're known for the MMO Conan Exiles. And like Exiles, Dune Awakening will be a survival MMO with the expected blend of exploration, crafting, PvP combat, and survival mechanics that implies, except now with the added sand and spice, in a way that only feels right for a series notorious for ambitious, if often misguided, adaptations. Dune Awakening certainly appears to be going for it. Now, what intrigues me the most about this is that if you watch Dune 1 and Dune Part 2, the sands of Arrakis are very harsh. It's like you have to be very experienced in survival in order to actually live out there, in order to actually survive in the sands, because they're very harsh and unrelenting. So this completely fits into the survival narrative, which is what's the most exciting to me. In the game's first Dune Direct preview stream, director Joel Bylis outlines an admittedly impressive sounding experience that veers from having to travel in the shade or at night to survive Arrakis' heat, adapting with the game's evolving weather system to searching out sources of water to simply survive. Plants are fine, but can eventually make you sick, meaning that the best way to get their water is by killing your fellow players and drinking the water out of their blood. I don't know if you've seen the movie. Like I said, water is so scarce on Arrakis. It's to the point where they don't even believe that there are big pools of water on other planets. Like in the movie, he was explaining to one of the people from Arrakis that they have huge bodies of water that they can actually dive in, and he said it's called swimming. It's kind of like the analogy of trying to explain snow to somebody who's never seen it before or have never heard of it before. That's the way it appears to them on Arrakis, because it's an entire desert planet, and the sandworms are like sharks that respond to any form of vibration, so they have to do a type of sand walking so as to not attract these sandworms. It's crazy. This is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so many different secrets I could see exploring in this whole concept of Dune, and I can't believe I didn't hear about it until now. So what they would do is that because the water was so scarce, they preserve as much as they can. So their fallen comrades, they've created these mechanisms to most efficiently remove the water from their body, because we naturally have water in our bodies. So they put them in these machines and they kind of suck the water out of their bodies in order to preserve, in order to use whatever water they can. That's how scarce it is. It's a lifestyle. And when they said PvP, Joe Bylis said they're going to, even though it's an MMO, I think they want to kind of separate this a little bit in a way so you can have a more direct PvP experience. He said there's going to be an area that's specifically for PvP, to where you're in this arena area And every time you enter, it's not going to be the same because there's ever-changing weather system. And in the desert, it never looks the same. So it just makes sense to have like that change every time you go in there. I'm interested to see what this is more like. They didn't go into much detail, but in this live stream, he basically gave an overview of what to expect. He also spoke about weapons, which I'm sure you'll want to hear about. You'll have all manner of deadly weapons to use. And once you craft them, the resources you've collected, that is, the combat will apparently allow for a variety of up-close melee knives, ranged shooting such as sniping from a vantage point, the abilities gained by training with your mentor selected during character creation, and other teachers found in the world. He expounded upon this as well, because it's not like you just randomly learn abilities. You actually can choose your mentor based on what kind of player you want to be. If you want to just be a crafter throughout the world, you can do that. If you want to create bases and be a base builder, if you want to be a weapons master, you choose your mentor based on how you want to be viewed and how you want to play in the world, which I think is awesome. And he also said that there are other teachers you can find in the world to further expound on this lore or on this character that you want to play as. I think this is a unique way of kind of adding on to different classes and abilities like traditionally they do. When you can just switch or choose something based on what's in the game, it's actually a part of the gameplay experience, which is very cool. 𝐵𝐼 says this extends to being able to use the supernatural voices by the mysterious 𝐒𝐵𝒍𝒑𝒔, compelling enemies to come close to you so you can slip a 𝐿𝐵𝒍𝒑𝒔 into their ribs. Okay, if you don't know who the 𝐵𝒍𝒑𝒔 are, they're part of the story. In the movie, they have this thing that they do with their voice that completely allows you to have control over the victim who heard it. Like in the movie, 2 people were being held captive on a helicopter and they were tied up. So one of them used the voice to tell him to untie her. So it basically allows you to command their senses and just do whatever you want to. Your voice changes and it gets real deep. I think it's a real dope concept. It reminds me of like Skyrim's using the voice Fus Ro Dah type thing, but it's a whole different level on Dune. But being able to do this is really awesome because each faction have something different. Like the 𝐵𝒍𝒑𝒔 and people who were taught by them have the voice, and the 𝐼𝐴𝐾𝐻𝑒𝑛𝑠 have other things that they can do. So I'm curious to see what other factions they're going to be in this game, to see what faction-based abilities you can use when creating your character. Oh man, this is really exciting. So the 𝐵𝒍𝒑𝒔 use the voice to compel enemies to come close to you. What that looks like in reality, we don't know. I'm guessing it's not just putting a scary voice filter onto your mic chat. You'll be able to multi-skill with different classes too, letting you mix up melee adeptness with gun skills and powers. There'll also be wider factions for you to gradually impress by completing missions, seeing you work your way up the ranks with the 𝐼𝐴𝐾𝐻𝑒𝑛𝑠 and Atreides, and so on. And if you want to put your combat skills to the test, there'll be a dedicated PvP area called the Shifting Sands. See, this is what I was talking about before. True to its name, the arena will apparently be remolded by the desert storms every couple of weeks. This is an MMO, so nothing is going to be the same. With MMOs, massive multiplayer online, a lot of things change, and this speaks to how dynamic this concept is in gaming. I think that MMOs especially are on another level when it comes to replay value. MMOs last for years. I'm talking about decades, because there's always something to do. You can always come back and do something different. There are always people engaging. And one thing about MMOs is that they create lifelong followings, die-hard fans that will never leave that game. And I've never been this excited about an MMO before. Even though I'm a fan of Skyrim, I wasn't really into the Skyrim MMO that they made, Elder Scrolls Online, or Conan Exiles for that matter. But Dune is just something special in my heart that I really see is going to be an amazing game. I mean, I may be biased because I'm a fan of Dune. I'm talking about the movies from the 80s. Man, it's crazy. So the arena will apparently be remolded by the desert storms every couple of weeks, changing the actual landscape of the region for different terrain to do battle on. It's not all blood drinking and duels with other players, mind. You can ally up to build bases together, with Conan Exiles base building expanded with some new options including proper collaborative construction. You can also get into property management by selling your most impressive creations via the in-game exchange. Now you know there are going to be some items and buildings and structures and weapons that are going to be sold like with real money. You know, people were buying stuff in-game on Conan Exiles with real money. You can go on YouTube and look at the highest selling items that people bought like in history. I can foresee this happening in Dune Awakening for sure. Now, I already told you about Conan If you don't know much about that, then you can research it yourself. That game has been out for a while and it's been played and played over and over again. But they're actually running beta tests. If you want, you can go to the website. I'll have a link in the description to where you can sign up for the beta test. Just put your email in and hopefully you get selected. Keep your fingers crossed. I know I am, and I'm hoping that I get an email soon or whenever they decide to pass them out. But that's pretty much it. I just wanted to tell you about this game. If you didn't know already, I'm super excited about it, and because there's already been information about it from a year ago, or even more articles already talking about projected release dates and whatnot, this might be sooner than later. So I'm going to keep you posted about this. I'm definitely going to cover this on my channel. This, like I said, creates people who have lifelong followings with the game. MMOs, you can pop in, pop out. It's like something you can create as a home game on your channel. And that's one of the main reasons why I'm excited about it. Let me know what you think about this down below. Are you going to get Dune Awakening? Are you excited about this game? Normally, I don't like games that are based on movies because they end up being corny. You know, I mean, Batman can get a pass, Superman maybe, Spider-Man for sure. But like, I don't know. To me, movies that are based on games, they're in a different world. I think games should be games, movies should be movies. But if they do it right, it's fine. The difference with MMOs like Conan, it wasn't really based on Conan per se. It was based in the Conan's world. Similarly, Dune Awakening is going to be based in the world of Arrakis, the unrelenting desert and just the sandworms and just the lore of the actual place, which creates a more creative and expansive universe that you can dive into. It's different from just being a copy and paste game based on a movie. Anyways, I'm going to stop talking about this. This video is getting pretty long, but I'm pretty excited about it. Let me know what you think about it down below. If this conversation was intriguing to you in any way, like the video and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next one. Be right out.